You want to know why there's a vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victimization kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since Charlie. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires and forces everyone involved to go and carry the opposites out. A response that changes now. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common: professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that is punching through.
What are your thoughts after hearing the indictment yesterday?
Good morning, Brian and Natalie. I got to tell you, my thoughts reading the 14-page indictment yesterday were that there are a lot of people in Hollywood who are probably worried about which Diddy parties they were at and what was going on.
Think about the way they're portraying Jay right now.
Things that they're saying, they're terrible. It's hard for me to even think that any of those things are true. I don't want them to be true. Like, they say they're going to pick them up next year. I don't want to see that man kill.
In a stunning turn of events, Shaw Diddy Combs has found himself at the center of a federal indictment involving sex trafficking and illegal activities. He has been denied bail twice and is being held in a detention center known as Hell on Earth. People believe desperation makes for a loose tongue, and longtime friend and business partner will be the first. Diddy snitches on the music industry is once again rocked by scandal, as allegations against Shaw Diddy Combs continue to unfold this time dragging Jay-Z into the spotlight. The term freak-offs has become synonymous with the recent revelations about Diddy's alleged involvement in illegal activities.
Art to this a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is 5 minutes ago, Jay-Z in trouble as Diddy turns him in during confession. Jay-Z. Alright, this is a video coming from the channel Eric's. Let's jump to it.
For Jay-Z, since we're here in court, y'all don't see the lineup?
Yeah, we see the lineup. I'm just waiting to see who's next.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
I hit Bob Bottom. I made no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable.
What?
2020, y'all.
Bro, how true is that? Like, have you heard that before? I've never heard that. Jay-Z? You think Jay-Z was the person orchestrating all of this? Is that the overall theory here?
Different than
what?
And he said days long they called them freak-offs were victims, and they were allegedly forced to sleep with male prostitutes. I sent you this video. I'm pretty sure you guys have all seen these videos that are just surfaced.
Elaborate and highly secretive events, often described as drug-fueled orgies involving prostitution, have led to severe legal consequences for Diddy in a dramatic turn of events. People think Diddy is reportedly cooperating with prosecutors in an attempt to secure a lesser sentence by implicating his longtime friend and fellow music mogul, Jay-Z.
Diddy's videos were being shopped around in Hollywood, and there are some stills that have been caught of somebody that is higher profile of Diddy, and the name that immediately comes to me is Jay-Z. Ariel Mitchell Kidd, attorney for a new Sean Diddy Combs accuser, says that she's been contacted regarding the sale of one of Diddy's tapes. There already has been tapes leaking around Hollywood being shopped around, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of. Mitchell Kidd, the lawyer, would not reveal who was in the tape, but says Diddy and someone more high profile could be seen. The other person in the video is very visible, and I can tell the video was pornographic. This was in his Atlanta home, definitely a man, and it does seem that the person isn't looking into the video. To me, it doesn't seem like that person knows they're being videotaped. Insanity. The celeb contacted this attorney, and she's seen stills from the tape where the celebrity in question was secretly recorded, and they're more famous than Diddy. So this is a shocking accusation, probably one of the worst.
The allegations against Diddy paint a picture of a powerful man who used his influence and resources to orchestrate and cover up a series of illegal activities. These freak-offs were not just casual parties but highly organized events that sometimes lasted for days. They involved bringing in lighting cameras and various supplies to create a specific atmosphere. Prosecutors allege that Diddy, along with his assistants, managers, and security staff, ensured that women and male prostitutes were present at these events, providing them with supplies like baby oil and lubricant.
The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant.
Charges against Diddy include sex trafficking, racketeering, conspiracy, and interstate transportation for prostitution. These charges have not only threatened to end his career, but also his freedom during raids on his homes in Los Angeles and Miami. Authorities seized drugs, weapons, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. The evidence collected during these raids forms a crucial part of the federal indictment against him.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges.
Federal prosecutors have built a robust case against Diddy, painting a picture of a man who hid a dark secret behind his lavish lifestyle. The indictment reveals that Diddy did not act alone. He had a network of people helping him organize and execute these freak-offs. These individuals were responsible for recruiting participants, stocking hotel rooms with necessary supplies, and ensuring that the events went off without a hitch. One of the most damning pieces of evidence is the recordings of these events. These recordings were allegedly used to blackmail participants into cooperating or remaining silent. The existence of these tapes has added another layer of complexity to the case, as they not only serve as evidence of the illegal activities but also demonstrate the lengths to which Diddy went to protect his secret life.
The defendant made multiple calls to another victim of sexual abuse and recorded certain of those calls under the cell phone, using the cell phone as a co-conspirator. During the calls, the defendant repeatedly asked for the victim's support and friendship and attempted to convince the victim that she had willingly engaged in acts constituting sexual abuse. The defendant also assured the victim that if she needed the defendant to, she ain't got to worry about anything else. Quote, even more concerning since learning about the criminal investigation, including following the execution of search warrants at his residences, Combs contacted other witnesses on multiple occasions, including other witnesses who had received grand jury subpoenas, basically accusing them of obstruction. By the way, the prosecution also pointed out that many of the crimes that Combs is accused of happened in his home. So putting him on house arrest, they would say, doesn't do much to mitigate potential wrongdoing inside his residence. Now they talk about the weight of the evidence, how much they have. Remember I said there wasn't a lot in the indictment? Here they talk about the weight of the evidence as a factor to consider whether to deny bail. Quote, as to witnesses, to date, the government has conducted interviews with over 50 victims and witnesses, many of whom saw or experienced the defendant's abuse. Many of these witnesses corroborate and their accounts are consistent with the other types of evidence discussed below. The government fully expects that number to continue to grow, given that the investigation, which is now public, is ongoing. And also, the prosecution revealed in its filing that the government has seized more than 90 cell phones, laptops, cloud storage accounts, hard drives, thumb drives, cameras, a surveillance system that they say shows this criminal activity.
The turning point in the case against Diddy came with the lawsuit filed by his longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Cassie Ventura. Cassie's allegations provided a blueprint for the Southern District of New York to investigate Diddy. Further, she accused him of directing her in sexually explicit acts with other individuals while he watched and masturbated. Cassie's detailed account of her experiences gave prosecutors the foundation they needed to build their
prosecutors painting a picture of the 54-year-old mogul who, behind his lavish lifestyle, allegedly hid a dark secret.
According to the indictment, the agents found weapons, including AR-15 style rifles, in Diddy's closet. The serial numbers were defaced. They also say they found recordings of freak-offs, and the evidence was then used to blackmail these women if they didn't cooperate more.
Diddy's longtime ex-girlfriend, Cassandra Cassie Ventura, filing a lawsuit against him last year that changed everything.
He would direct her how to touch the sex worker, how to pour oil over her body, and he would watch these things happen while he was masturbating.
Cassie Ventura's lawsuit gave the blueprint to the Southern District of New York to investigate Sean Combs, and the lawsuits that followed gave the brick and mortar to build the case against him.
The lawsuit was settled within 24 hours, but it opened the floodgates for other victims to come forward. More and more women have filed civil lawsuits against Diddy alleging similar experiences of sexual assault and exploitation. These lawsuits have strengthened the case against him and increased public scrutiny.
And as if things couldn't get any worse for embattled music mogul Sean Diddy Combs, today a prominent lawyer came forward saying he intends to file more than 100 different lawsuits from alleged victims.
A new Diddy bombshell. Houston-based lawyer Tony Busby made the revelation today.
Claims we intend to bring will include the following: violent sexual assault or rape, sexual abuse, facilitated sex with a controlled substance, false imprisonment, compelling prostitution, sexual misconduct, dissemination of video recordings, false imprisonment, sexual abuse of minors.
Busby says the victims include both men and women, and he says some of them were minors.
The youngest victim at the time of the occurrence was 9 years old. We have an individual who was 14 years old. We have one who was 15. 25 of the 120 individuals who are plaintiffs in these cases were minors at the time of the act's complaint.
As the investigation into Diddy's activities deepens, Jay-Z's name has surfaced in the allegations. Rumors and speculations suggest that Jay-Z might have been involved in these freak-offs, or at least aware of them. The possibility of Jay-Z's involvement has added a new dimension to the SEC scandal, as he is one of the most powerful and influential figures in the music industry now.
So guys, really quickly, Jay-Z really has not been involved in anything like that, at least from what we've known. Keep us in mind. But obviously, as Diddy is now being looked at by the FBI, agencies, right? U.S. Attorney of Manhattan, I think the most logical thing going forward is that he is going to most likely try to get out of this. Like, he offered a $50 million bail package, they turned that down. $50 million is nothing for this. Nothing. But the fact that they turned that down, of course he's going to now start talking all types of crazy. But again, I have never heard anything about Jay-Z being involved in anything weird, so this is why I was so shocked with the entire revelation.
Now, you might be asking, how did we get here? How did Jay-Z, one of the most powerful men in the music industry, get caught up in?
Diddy is reportedly cooperating with prosecutors to reduce his sentence, and this cooperation involves providing information about other high-profile individuals who may have been involved in the illegal activities, Jay-Z being one of Diddy's close associates is a prime target for such allegations. If Diddy can provide evidence implicating Jay-Z, it could significantly impact his own legal situation.
Hollywood, but one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
To be honest, a lot of people, but the options are J-Lo, Snoop Dogg, Jay-Z are some of the few specific options that people are talking about. So it's a wild accusation. The lawyer has said she has seen stills. The lawyer has said that she knows who this person is, who's representing one of the victims. And this basically means to me that other people are definitely going to be going down, and that this is going to be public knowledge real soon, is what she said. So we need to be locked, loaded, and prepared for when this information gets released, because it's going to be an absolute madness. I honestly have no words for this. I didn't expect this to take place, but clearly, this is what's happening.
Diddy has been denied bail twice and remains in jail, awaiting trial. His defense team argues that the prosecution is unjust and that Diddy is not a criminal, but the evidence against him is overwhelming.
Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes that a federal judge is now refusing to grant Sean Diddy Combs bail. Instead, he's going straight to jail tonight after Diddy pleaded not guilty to charges of sex trafficking and racketeering. I want to show you some of these brand new court sketches coming into us. Literally in the last 90 seconds. This is Combs in court after prosecutors arrested him at a hotel in Manhattan. It's where he's apparently been living for weeks, according to a person familiar with the move tells NBC News. All of it a tipping point now in that sprawling federal investigation into the superstar's alleged years of sex crimes dating back to 2009. As we're just getting into new and deeply disturbing details about the allegations against him. What looks like a massive criminal operation, allegedly. At least 50 victims and witnesses so far. And at the center of it, these hours and days-long sex acts known as, in their words, freak-offs that Combs supposedly orchestrated to abuse his victims.
Inevitable, both men used their power and influence to exploit and abuse others. Within the music industry, R. Kelly's conviction for racketeering, sex trafficking, and child pornography set a precedent that Diddy's case could follow. The parallels between the two cases highlight a pervasive issue within the industry, the abuse of power by influential figures.
But the association between Sean Carter and R. Kelly and Diddy and R. Kelly, how didn't those two men come up in the Me Too witch hunt? R. Kelly, which everyone already knew was guilty. Big guilty. Why is no one from Me Too had anything to say about the Diplo? Or Jay-Z for that matter. And we all know what came from the Me Too movement, the documentaries about Harvey Weinstein and Surviving R. Kelly, which was spearheaded by Dream Hampton, who has been a pet of Sean Carter for many years. And I know he funded it.
And Jay-Z's been very quiet lately.
Quieter than a huge mouse. No God.
The implications of this scandal extend beyond Diddy and Jay-Z. The music industry as a whole is under scrutiny, with many questioning how such behavior could go unchecked for so long. The culture of silence and complicity that protected Diddy for years is being dismantled, and other high-profile figures could be implicated as the investigation continues.
This era right now, Charles, of men with power falling from grace in Hollywood. And when I think about Harvey Weinstein, that was an open secret in Hollywood for a very long time about what he was doing with victims. Was this also the case with P. Diddy, that the people kind of knew this was going on?
I will say this: there have always been whispers about his power and how he wielded that power. But I can't say I heard any whispers about these freak-offs, and it's really alarming. We were talking about it yesterday. One, these parties had a lot of individuals. In fact, the U.S. Attorney's Office says that the parties would sometimes go on for days. So there are a lot of individuals involved. And they say this has been going on for more than 10 years, and yet we didn't hear about that. So that means that all the people that were involved, according to the feds, that he managed to keep them all quiet, that nobody would speak about it. And that does sort of speak to the kind of power he wielded and the fear that people had of him.
Federal prosecutors have stated that their work is not done, and more charges could follow. The investigation is ongoing, and there is a possibility that other individuals will be brought to justice. The case against Diddy could serve as a catalyst for broader changes within the industry, promoting greater accountability and transparency. Media coverage has been extensive, with many drawing parallels to other high-profile cases of abuse within the entertainment industry. The future for Diddy and Jay-Z remains uncertain. Diddy faces serious legal consequences that could end his career and result in significant prison time. Jay-Z Depending on the outcome of the investigation, could also face legal and reputational damage. The music industry is at a crossroads with a growing demand for accountability and change.
You want to know why there's a vindication for me? Because for 4 years, I've been screaming, not just Diddy, but Diddy and Jay-Z are monsters. And the victim making kept going on.
Jay-Z has been notable by his silence since he charged him. Why do you think that is?
Because that's what he does. He starts little fires and forces everyone involved to go and carry the nonsense out. A response that changes now, Sean. You must respond. You have no choice. Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Robert Kelly, Sean Combs have one person in common, professionally and privately. Sean Carter. This has been a fist of tyranny that has been punching